Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. It's finally time for me to record a new video, at least I have time now, because I promised you guys that I would make a video of my time at the European Legacy Masters, which is basically the European Legacy Championship, in which we crowned the best player in Legacy in Europe. There were some real bangers in that tournament, but I'll go into that soon. I want to start by saying that I'm sorry for not having posted a video in a long time, but I just haven't found the time. I have a full-time job, I've got a young baby to keep alive, and I'm also studying. I don't know how you call this in English, because I'm not really actually an English native speaker. But I have like an evening school, and I am following a programming course, and I have a lot of deadlines to do. And if I have time between all of that, I can record videos. So I just record videos whenever I can. But important. That is all ending because exams are done, and also my course is going to be ending soon. At least the classes will be, and I will have 2 weeks of holiday, which means I'm going to try and record a lot of videos in that time period, so I have some videos to post in the near future. So I want to start by saying that let me know if there are certain things that you would want to see, because if you've been watching my videos, I try and reply to every single one of the responses that I get on my videos. So if there are certain things you want to see, it can also be modern. For example, I know a lot of people like my modern content as well. Just let me know, because that gives me ideas on what you would want to see, and I would want to try and respond to all of those. So yeah, that's a big update for starters. Let's go into first the European Legacy Masters. I wanted to talk to you a bit about what it is and what I played, and why I am so proud of that achievement. Let me start by just hovering to the website. I will link the link to the website in the description below, so if you're interested, go check that out. And basically the ELM was the first ever European Legacy tournament where we crowned the best player of Legacy in Europe, and it's an invite only. If you want to have more details, you can find them here on the website. Go check it out. I'm just going to give a quick rundown, but more details you can find on that website. And you had to qualify, and I was able to qualify with Infect for a spot for Belgium. Every country that wants to join had 4 slots, and I was able to get the finals of the Belgian Legacy Cup, and that's why I qualified. So pretty proud of that. You can see on the picture here, it's the top 8, and there were some real, well, excellent players like Mark Vogt, winner of the last Legacy European Grand Prix, Tokoris, very known player, Kai Sotarix, well, probably one of the best Doomsday players ever. So just to say that this field was stacked. Every single one that played in this tournament had won a tournament, and I'm joking, but when I say that there were more Grand Prix winners in this tournament than there were players that didn't win one, I'm probably not that far off. So just to show you that it really was a very high stack tournament. I've written an entire report about the tournament too, which I will also put in the description below. So if you want more details, go check that out. I describe every single matchup in that. I don't have time to go into that, but I will just go over the reason that I played my deck, my certain card choices, and go into detail about that, which is, well, probably the most important thing. Important to say is that I went 5-2, which means I actually made top 16 in this event. I went 13th place out of 74 people, which is pretty nuts. Just one more win, and I would have been top 8. So unfortunately, not getting one more win in there, that would have been amazing. But you know, I'm still very happy regardless. I played Bant, Ajani, Infect, and this is the list here. If you want to have the link to this to this deck, I will also put in the description. So just scroll down, you can click on it, and then you can see all the cards if you would want that. So yeah, time for the most important part, I think. Let me go over my deck, my choices, why I have made certain choices, and how I would well, go ahead moving forward if I would play an open field. Let me start by going over just some details, and let me start by my favorite card, my new favorite card ever, Ajani, Sleeper Agent. I've talked about this card in the past. I've recorded a league with it as well, and in fact I also have a 5-0 with my latest band list coming up as my next video, where I 5-0'd with Ajani again. I'm in love with this card. Now I have made some changes towards my 75, but I'll go into that in detail. Let me start by first going over Ajani Sleeper Agent and why it's so good. Main reason is that this is very good in grindy matchups and versus control decks. I felt that I really don't want it in basically anything else, but it is the best card that you can have in those matchups because you just can't get rid of it. Prismatic Ending, you have to have 4 mana to get rid of this, and you can cast this turn 2, so it has always replaced itself if you're able to cast this turn 2. The emblem, if you resolve it, I mean, it wins the games on its own. If you check my my guide, I played against Control and against lands, and it has won me games on its own. That's how powerful it is. In love with the card, you should play Ajani. Another card that I want to show you is something that I'm not able to show you on Magic Online, is this one, Embiggen. I'm not going to lie, this is a huge upgrade to Legacy Infect. Let me go over why. So, for people who don't know this, so Embiggen, what it says is that target non-Bushwhack creature gets +1/+1 for each super type, card type, and subtype. So, short summary, this gives Glistener Elf and Bladder Agent +4/+4 and Inkmoth Nexus +5/+5. Why? Well, if we look at Glistener Elf, you can see that Glistener Elf here says Creature, Elf, Warrior. That's 3 types. However, they errata these creatures towards also being Phyrexian. So that's 4 types. You have Creature, which is a type, and then you have Elf, Warrior, Phyrexian. So +4/+4, and then Inkmoth Nexus actually has also Artifact on there. It's a land artifact, and then it has the types. So it has 5 types in total, and that's why it gets +5/+5, which is huge. +5/+5 at instant speed, that is just better than Scale Up and Become Immense. And if you look at my list, you can see that I'm no longer playing Scale Up and Become Immense, because Embiggen is just better. I can't wait for this card to be on Magic Online, because I want to test heavily with it. I think this will be a huge upgrade for Infect, and I'm going to be trying out builds that play 4 of these. So, well, if they ever get it on Magic Online, be prepared for some videos about that. All the rest in the main board, not that many changes. What I have done is I've started to play Sylvan Library again. Wow, that's a cool artwork there. In the main, I played 3 Ponders and I just cut 1 because I was expecting a lot of control in the ELM. And I was right about that. I played against Control twice, and Sylvan Library is very good against them. Not as powerful as it used to be, because Prismatic Ending gets rid of it very cleanly, so that's why I decided to not play that many of those, especially online. But I want to point out that the list that I had here was heavily created specifically for the European Legacy Masters. I would not recommend actually playing this list that I have right here in an open field, because I knew, so there were 74 players in this tournament, and I knew from everyone, I did my research, I knew which deck they usually played and what I was expecting. And I was right about that. We played 7 rounds of Swiss, and 6 out of the 7 rounds, I had the correct guess, because I made a list of all the players. So I knew as I was expecting, and I came prepared, right? That's what I wanted to say. More on that later. Anyway, let's go with the sideboard first. 2 Fluster Storms. That's pretty stock. You know, it beats up on control decks. Against combo, it's very good, so you always want those. I played 2 Endings and 4 Swords. Very heavily against Delver, because I was expecting a shitload of Delver in this tournament, which was true. Only faced it once, but beat it fairly easily. And I also want to point out this one right here. Triumph of Saint Catherine. When this card is going to be released on Magic Online, you're going to see it everywhere. This card on its own will bring back Miracles, I guarantee it. It's so powerful. Miracle for 2, 5/5 lifelink. It's brutal against Delver. They just can't get rid of it. And if they do end up killing it, like they built it twice, it actually gets exiled and just goes back into the top 6 cards. And if you've seen Miracles, they will just get it back. And then what are they going to do? Because it's also white, so then gets Pyroblasted. This card does everything, and I wanted to play it in Infect as well. I didn't see it against Delver, but in my testing games, it has been amazing. So I'm going to brew around some more. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it, because with the other new top deck with the format, the Initiative Stompy deck, it's really not that good against them. And I've been seeing that more and more people are hovering towards that deck, because it's very good against Delver too. So I'm expecting a decline of that deck. And you can see I also played 1 Torp Orb in the sideboard, specifically to hate on White Initiative, or White Stompy, or Dungeon Stompy, whatever you want to call it. So many names going around. And I expect that our matchup really isn't that bad against them. But I did play a Torp Orb. Everything else pretty stock. I only played 1 Surgical Extraction, maybe a bit low, but let me explain. Nobody plays Reanimator in real life, and only 2 people actually placed themselves for the tournament when playing Reanimator. So that's why I said, yeah, I just only need 1, and I never faced it. So that was the correct choice to do. And then we have 2 Ajanis. I'm in love with that card. I expect a lot of control, and it worked out because it won me a shitload of games on its own. And then 1 Force of Vigor, you know, artifact decks are still a thing. So, again, I would not suggest playing this in an open meta. This was heavily made for specifically the ELM, in which I knew exactly which cards everyone would play. Things that I would recommend doing if you're playing in an open field, probably cut the prismatic endings. You only need swords. Play 1 more surgical. I'm not sure if I want Triumph of St. Catherine because that's heavily towards Delver, although then again Delver is still the most popular. But that may change when we have the Dungeon Stompy deck. And that's the thing that I'm really looking forward to. Ajani, probably cut it from the main board, put it to the side, just to the sideboard, because again, I feel like I only want it against control-based decks or grinding matchups. And that's actually the list that I said I 5-0'd with, of which I will make a video. Was playing 2 Ajanis in the side, no longer 1 in the main. And that's pretty much it. So that was my rundown of the tournament. Again, if you want to see all the matchups, check out the article in the description below. It's really worth the read. I had the last game I played was against Elves for the 5-2, and I did some insane combat math where I actually figured out that if they go natural order into Crater Hoof, I will survive with 1 life, and then I can kill them on the swing back, but I needed to swords Crater Hoof with the trigger on the stack. That's just one example. I really loved the tournament, and it was clear that everyone was playing great. So check it out. It really was awesome if you wanna read some more about my matchups. Lastly, questions. If you have any questions about why I played certain cards, how the tournament was, just let me know. As always, as I said before, I try and answer every single question that I may get in response to this video. I would also like to thank each and every one that I met at the Eternal Legacy Masters. It was awesome, so many great people. Really, man, if you can ever make it to Bologna, you should do that. Best tournaments I've ever gone to. It was amazing. And again, what would you like to see next? Let me know, because I have some time coming up so I can make videos in the near future. So it would be amazing if you give me some responses. That was it for my quick update video, and again I have a 5-0 video with my new with my new Bant list coming up very soon, so check that out if you're interested. That was it, guys. See you soon. Bye.